I would also say on the beginnings of a ETF Bitcoin, we believe ETFs are a technology no different than Bitcoin was a technology for asset storage. We believe the next step going forward will be the tokenization of financial assets.
There's Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, talking about the tokenization of all financial assets. Is this the real reason we've seen a pump in Chainlink lately? Because Chainlink is at the forefront of the tokenization of real-world assets, and I can't help become bullish when I see how bullish Larry Fink is on this narrative. Here's a deep-cut clip I found from when he was talking to Andrew Ross Sorkin from the New York Times all the way back in September of last year.
The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities.
He just said the entire bond market will be transformed, and the next wave we'll see is the tokenization of securities. That sounds like a whole lot of wordthink. What does that actually mean? A bond is a type of debt security, usually issued by a government, sometimes corporations and municipalities. And when you see debt security, that might ring some bells because in 2008, that was a large reason of why we saw a financial collapse. Mortgage-backed securities, which was essentially a type of mortgage bond, which is a pool of mortgages. Think of 1,000 home mortgages all wrapped up together in a complicated financial instrument that the elites can sell amongst themselves. Well, Chainlink wants to even the playing field and tokenize all assets. But you might ask yourself, why would BlackRock agree to having an open market? Why would BlackRock agree to a public ledger? Why would BlackRock want to expose their trades? Well, I'm here to tell you that isn't actually the plan, everybody. BlackRock does a large percentage of their trades OTC or over the counter. So no one knows what the parties are actually paying for the assets they're buying or selling. And when you look into, does BlackRock do OTC deals? Yes, they do OTC deals for their financial instruments. And in fact, I did a little bit of digging, everybody, and I figured out what is the actual ratios of over-the-counter versus transparent trades. Because we know when we think about blockchain, we think about transparent trades. But BlackRock is not going to stop at that. And this is why Chainlink is so bullish, everybody. When you look at the actual numbers, exchange-traded future options, these are the green bars. This is going to be something, think about a public ledger. This would be seen by all interested parties. But the blue charts are OTC contracts, one with the Office of Currency Comptroller, and then the other, the Bank of International Settlements here. And you can see the blue bars vastly outdwarfing the green bars here, meaning the vast majority of trades are secret trades that are OTC. And when I went for the most recent data, it's just even more shocking, everybody. This is the gross market value of global OTC derivatives, these financial instruments that BlackRock loves to trade. And don't forget that Chainlink wants to tokenize. And look at the numbers for the most recent quarter here. This is Q4 2022. And then look at the number, 20.7. But folks, this isn't in the billions. This is in the trillions of dollars, meaning this asset class vastly outstrips all of cryptocurrency market caps combined. And that is just part of the reason why we've seen Chainlink finally breaking out of this 3-month sideways range and hitting a 22-month high of $18. It's been just languishing between $13 and $17. I'm going to show you something else on the charts that made me very, very bullish. This is the last halving we saw, and just look at the run-up that we saw. Well, we're expecting the halving within the next, say, couple months here, probably the middle of April. But when I click to the 4-hour chart, you can see the recent price action, folks, and it looks like we broke out of this range, but I am still waiting for a little confirmation. These are 4-hour candles, and I want to see a couple 4-hour candles close above this range before I really flip bullish and say, you know, it is a good buying opportunity. But it's not just the BlackRock CEO talking about the tokenization. Sergey Nazarov, the founder of Chainlink, has also spoken on this topic.
I don't think we're at that place yet where the majority of people have a use case that they can relate to as far as blockchain technology. And I think that our goal is to create the infrastructure that'll change that.
So Chainlink wants to build the infrastructure for this real-world asset revolution that we're seeing, for this tokenization of assets that we're seeing. And this is what they call a pick and shovel investing strategy. And we love the pick and shovel investing strategy. Simply put, it is a strategy that invests in the underlying technology needed to produce a good or service instead of the final output. The most famous example is you would got rich investing in Levi jeans during the gold rush much more than you would have being invested in gold. You're investing on the infrastructure of the underlying revolution. And if you go to Chainlink's X account, you see they just passed 1 million followers. Very, very bullish on that metric right there. But they posted something yesterday I found very fascinating. Traditional financial institutions need data, compute, and cross-chain capabilities to adopt blockchains and tokenize RWAs at scale, real-world assets. Only the Chainlink platform provides all three. And when I dove into the blog here, I saw a pretty compelling sentence that I think a lot of companies are going to take advantage of, especially a lot of financial companies, because they might not want to spin out an entire crypto division. Some of these banks have tens of thousands of employees, and it's just a lot easier to operate with a partner than it is to start from the ground up, especially with the new technology like blockchain. Well, Chainlink is the enterprise-grade infrastructure that allows these institutions to make the connections between blockchains and their existing infrastructure. Remember the amount of OTC deals that we see. I predict that there's going to be a lot of private blockchains that are going to be utilizing this technology, which is very bullish because that means they're probably going to use it at scale. And further on that point, if your existing tech stack, I love how they use normie speak here, needs to do blockchain stuff, simply integrate with Chainlink to connect with public and private blockchains. And I think private blockchains of these large asset managers are going to be a massive narrative, if not this bull run, then the following. But now let me give you a little Chainlink price alpha, everybody. I'm going to give you some short-term and some long-term price predictions here. Well, first, I want to give a shout-out to Lux Algo for printing out some bullish divergence. People made some trades off of this. They're just doing great. You can see slightly lower price action here, but slightly higher action on the oscillator matrix here. But you can also see it on the 3-day chart. So this was just a awesome trade to enter. The indicators were letting you know. But if you go to the 3-day, you can see it also playing out on the larger time frames. Right around here, you can see a little bit of divergence from this low point to this low point, and we're getting a little bit of a lower price action while higher price action on the oscillator matrix. So shout out to Lux Algo for pointing out those trades, everybody. I saw it a little too late, and so I didn't try to chase it. But let me give you my price prediction for Chainlink for 2024 and for the bull run. For 2024, I expect it to mimic largely what we saw in 2020. Now, 2020 was a DeFi summer. It was a very bullish time for Chainlink, and you can just tell by the green arrows right now. Well, right now, we're kind of in a peak area before the halving, and the halving is going to approximately happen about this vertical line, and it's correlating pretty closely with what we're seeing over here. So I'm going to pull this from the top of the pre-halving rally and then see the high for 2020, and we saw about a 300% pump, about a 4x. I think we can expect something fairly similar for what we're seeing right now. And of course, a 4x from $20 is going to give us about an $80 Chainlink. I think there's going to be a slight diminishing returns, and I think this might only be about a 3x or about a 200% pump. And folks, that gives us a $60 Chainlink in 2024 if everything goes right and the real-world asset tokenization narrative becomes real, and I do think it will. But my bull run top for 2025 is also going to take a similar approach here. We're going to look at what we saw the peak of 20. I'm going to compare, for the peak of 24. So the peak of August 20, we were right around $20, and then we peaked pretty close to 50, about 160% pump. I don't think it will match that exactly, and I'm going to draw out where I think we're going to go. I do think we can hit roughly $80 this cycle, and I'm expecting a little bit of a pump from there. So 76, we run that up 160%. We're off the charts. I don't know if it'll go that high. I'm expecting more about 100% pump, maybe even 120, and that's going to give us roughly $100 Chainlink for 2025. Now, I think if everything goes well, Chainlink could break through $100 and potentially flirt with the $200 range, but I'm going to be looking to take profits around 100. In fact, maybe even take off a small portion once we get into new all-time highs. So that's my prediction for Chainlink 2024, 2025. I just really want to stress BlackRock is going to use Chainlink in a massive way, and it might not be as transparent as you think, which is going to be great for BlackRock and great for holders of Chainlink as well. Because remember, the CEO of the largest asset manager in the world is telling you the tokenization of securities is the future. I'm DZ for Discover Crypto, and I'll see you at the top with my 3.7 Chainlink.